Welcome to today's mini lesson. Today, our focus will be on transferring our thoughts to paper. Welcome, writers! The last time we were together, we read the nonfiction text Owls by Laura Marsh. We learned many interesting facts about owls. We decided to organize the ideas and facts that we learned. So, we created a bubble map. In the middle of our bubble map, we had the word owls, and surrounding it in the surrounding bubbles, we placed facts or details that we learned about owls. We only used a few words to do that. We did not write in complete sentences. Today, we're going to learn how to transfer or take the information from our bubble map and place those into actual sentences. Come along and I'll teach you how to get started. Let's take a look at our bubble map from our last class. In the middle of the bubble map, you see the word owls because that is what our paper is going to be all about, what we've learned about owls. In the surrounding bubbles, we have all of the facts or details that we learned about owls. Let's take a look. We learned that there are many kinds of owls. Owls live in different places. They have good hearing, and owls have wings and feathers. As I stated earlier, in our bubbles we only included a few words. We did not write in complete sentences. So what we're going to do, we're going to learn how to take the words that we have in our bubbles and turn those into sentences. Let's take a look at our main topic or our main idea, which is owls. We will first take that topic and turn that into a sentence. Being that our paper is going to be on owls, let's go ahead and let's start our first sentence by saying something such as, owls are interesting animals. This will let our readers or our audience know exactly what our paper is going to be about. So let's go ahead and watch me write that down. Owls are interesting animals. What a wonderful way to introduce our writing. Next, we're going to take a look at each of the bubbles and we're going to create a sentence. But here's the trick. We're going to work with one bubble at a time and turn that into a sentence. After we do that, I like to put a check mark inside or right beside that bubble. That lets me know that I've already used that bubble, so I can go ahead and move on to another bubble. And when I see check marks on all the bubbles, I know that I've written about all of the facts and details that I want to include about my topic, which in this case will be on owls. Watch how I create a sentence using one of the bubbles. I'm just going to go to the top left bubble where it says many kinds. Looking at that, it only has two words, and that is not a sentence. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take what's in that bubble and I'm going to turn that into a sentence. I know that there are many different kinds of owls, so I think I want to make that into a sentence by saying there are many different kinds of owls. So after I write that sentence, I'm going to be sure to put a check mark in that bubble because I know I've already covered that. So now we can look at the other three bubbles that are left and we can try to put those into sentences. Come along. Now, it's your turn. I would like for you to help me turn these bubbles into sentences. So, as you can see, we already started off by saying owls are interesting animals. There are many different kinds of owls. Now, I would like for you to help me take a bubble and make this into a sentence. So let's look at one of our bubbles. It says, live in different places. Well, we know we can't just say, live in different places, because that's not a sentence. So let's turn that into a sentence. I would like for you to turn and talk to a neighbor and figure out how we can turn lives in different places into a sentence. Let's do that now. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's come back. I would like for you to share what your partner said about how we can turn that bubble into a sentence. It looks like a great way that we could do this is by saying, owls live in many different places. They live in warm places and cold places. We learned that from our text. So, let's add that sentence. They live in warm and cold places. Now, don't forget, let's check off that bubble. We have 2 bubbles that we've checked and we have 2 more to go. We're doing a great job. Well, the next bubble says good hearing. I would like for you to do the same thing. Turn and talk to a different partner this time. And I would like for you to figure out how we can turn that bubble, good hearing, into a sentence. Ready? Turn and talk. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, come back and join us. All right, now that you've had time to talk with a partner, let's figure out how we can turn that into a sentence. I think we could keep it really simple, and we can say, owls have great hearing. Perfect. Let's go ahead and check that bubble off. So right now, we have the following. Owls are interesting animals. There are many different kinds of owls. They live in warm and cold places. Owls have great hearing. I love what I'm seeing so far. Now let's work with our last bubble. Our last bubble states that owls have wings and feathers. Well, let's talk about it. Last time, let's turn and talk to a new partner. And we're going to decide how we can turn the words that are in that bubble into a sentence. Ready? Start talking. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's come back together. Alright, boys and girls, now we're going to talk and we're going to share what we decided to do. It seems like we can easily turn this into a sentence by saying, they have wings and quiet feathers. Now, let's think about why owls have quiet feathers. If you remember from what we read by Laura Marsh in the text, it said that they have to have quiet feathers to help them find their prey. So let's add that into our sentence. We could say, they have wings and quiet feathers to help them catch their prey. Now, let's take another look at our text. Right now it says, owls are interesting animals. There are many different kinds of owls. They live in warm and cold places. Owls have great hearing. They have wings and quiet feathers to help them catch their prey. Now that we've finished that last bubble, don't forget to put a check mark there. Now let's look at our bubble map again to make sure that we have not missed any bubbles. We should have a check mark beside each and every bubble. It looks like we do. So what we're going to do on today while you're writing, boys and girls, I want you to take your bubble maps and we're going to do exactly what we did here. You're going to go ahead and take your bubbles and create sentences using each and every one of your facts or details that you have in your bubble. Okay, writers, today we learned that great writers organize their thoughts and then they begin to write sentences. We did just that on today. We'd already had our thoughts organized into bubble maps, which were all the facts that we wanted to include about owls. We then took each one of our facts and turned those into sentences. We worked with one fact at a time. We remembered to check off each bubble after we did that, after we wrote our sentences. And we came up with a great first draft. Boys and girls, this is something that great writers do. Writers do not get it correct the very first time. We have to organize our thoughts in writing before we begin writing. We can't just jump into it. So whether you use a bubble map or another form, we must always organize our thoughts before we begin to write. That is something that great writers do, and we are learning to become great writers, and I know we will do an excellent job with our future writing. on today. I wish you well and hope that you are writing away. Great job, writers.